Now, our next speaker is Congressman Tom Tancredo. He has nearly a decade of experience in the U.S. Congress. Before he was elected to Congress, he served 5 years in the Colorado legislature, and he was appointed the regional representative for the Department of Education by President Reagan. He held that position over 10 years. Congressman Tancredo and his wife Jackie live in Littleton, Colorado. They've been married 30 years. They have 2 sons and 5 grandsons. Please join me in welcoming presidential candidate Tom Tancredo.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to join you. I want to thank you for this particular format especially. I want to thank the organizers for this. We've had several political debates, and I have to put the debates in quotation marks. They really haven't been much in the way of debates. They've been more in the way of 30-second sound bites, which I do not think have been very productive. So this is a much better way, I believe, to get a message out, to get acquainted with the people in this state and throughout the nation, as a matter of fact, who are going to be voting in these upcoming primaries. You know, throughout this campaign, I have noticed that there are several of us that have been designated by the media as second-tier candidates. Now, I've been intrigued to some extent as to what exactly it is that separates the first tier from the second in the minds of these folks, especially in the media. To a large extent, of course, it's money. It's a difference in our personal wealth or in our campaign bank accounts. Some months ago, a late-night comedian, pundit, I don't know how you want to describe him, by the name of Conan O'Brien, was talking about when everybody had filed their reports and how much they had raised. And he said, Hillary Clinton announced that she raised $36 million. Barack Obama announced that he had raised $25 million. And Tom Tancredo had announced that he raised 2 children. Well, he's right. I and my wife have raised 2 children, and both of whom, of course, we are very proud. And they are now raising our 5 grandchildren, all boys, and just doesn't get any better than that. But what Conan O'Brien is saying, and he's really suggesting that there's something far more important than to have, it is far more important to have money, even than children, or anything else, as a matter of fact, in a presidential election. Well, I don't believe it. I won't believe it. Because if it's true, then corporate America has won, and the good people of this country have lost. Friends, I may not have $100 million in the bank, but I have something that I think is far more valuable. I have a constituency. It's all over this country. It's in every single state, and it's a constituency I don't have to buy. They're there. They're with me because of my beliefs, the principles upon which I stand, and my values. They're with me because they know, as many of you do, that this nation is truly at risk. They're with me because together we have fought in our efforts to save it. Friends, if anyone believes that money alone is more precious and powerful than having millions of Americans working and praying with you, and that they only need to look at what happened recently in Washington, D.C., actually just this last week. Our army, we call it the Army Against Amnesty, and it's been built over the last 10 years, took on corporate America, took on the White House, took on the forces of Kennedy and McCain, and we beat them. And you know what? For every one of you in this room who did anything, who wrote a letter, who sent an email, who called, I want to say God bless you and thank you for doing it, because it restores faith in America. The system actually works. Our voices can be heard. You know, we didn't need millions of dollars in order to win that victory. And I don't need millions of dollars in order to create a conservative image out of me and out of my persona. I have a lifetime record that proves who I am. As a conservative I am troubled, I must tell you, and maybe you are too, by the recent influx of what I call hyphenated conservatives, neoconservatives, paleoconservatives, compassionate conservatives. And the latest nonsense that you hear all the time is common sense conservatives, as if those two things were not synonymous. Now, I'm glad to say that at least as of today, June 30th, 2007, everybody running for this top office is some kind of conservative. But for those of us who have been unhyphenated conservatives since before Al Gore invented the internet, I find this mildly amusing. What I want to know is this: since when is conservatism itself not enough? When exactly has it helped our party, either in policy or in politics, to qualify our commitment to limited government, the rule of law, a strong national defense, and traditional values? As best as I can tell, every effort to hyphenate conservatism has led to both policy and electoral catastrophe. Kinder, gentler conservatism has given us the largest tax increase in our nation's history, and President Bill Clinton. Compassionate conservatism has given us No Child Left Behind, the Medicare/prescription drug bill, open borders, and Speaker Nancy Pelosi. This is not a coincidence. Throughout the last 3 decades, a simple if inconvenient truth has emerged. When conservatives run on principles, we win. When we run away from them, we lose. For years now, conservatives have been warned by political professionals of the cost of standing too strongly on principle. Today, ladies and gentlemen, we're paying the price for not standing on principle at all. This is why this curious fetish for hyphenated conservatism is so troublesome. Implicit in it is an admission of, and maybe an apology for, some maybe inhumanity or something inherent in the ideals of John Adams or Margaret Thatcher or Ronald Reagan. The only adjective that I will agree to have applied to me is unapologetic conservative. You see, I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry that we won the Cold War. I'm not sorry that we reduced tax rates and created economic opportunities for millions. I'm not sorry that I'm a co-sponsor of the fair tax. I'm not sorry, and I will not apologize for defending the idea that marriage is a sacred union between one man and one woman. I will not apologize